Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Catch Up. My name is Cannon Griner, along with my co-host Ava Elmore. We're two childhood friends who grew up together, chased sports dreams, and now live on opposite sides of the country. We created this podcast as a way to catch up, unpack real life, and share the ride with you. From deep conversations to lessons we're still learning, laughs to life pivots, it's the kind of catch up everyone needs. Well, Ava and I created this podcast to not only catch up with the two of us, but to catch up with others. Today, we're excited to have on two very special guests.
Yeah, they are coaches from our alma mater, Red Mountain High School, and recently started a golf apparel business with their friends. We discovered their brand at a local golf tournament and figured we want to air out their story. So please welcome guys to the Coast to Coast Catch Up.
Hey guys, how you doing? Sean Reedy. I am one of the 6 members of Sandcrane Golf. I am our Chief Operating Officer, and this is one of my operating partners.
Hi, Josh Barge. I guess you could say I'm the Chief Design and Marketing Officer.
Give ourselves titles so we seem important. So, we're trying to legitimize as much as we can as coaches and teachers can do, right? When you're starting a side hobby that's turning into hopefully a very successful business. We've had a pretty good start. So hope to tell our story.
How did you guys get this started? You say it's 6 people. It seems like a lot of toes that you could step on or a lot of ideas you have. How did you guys actually get the ball rolling with that?
Well, the ball probably started rolling during the summer of COVID. So in 2020, me and one of my college buddies hadn't really seen each other for a couple years. And I called him and I was like, hey man, I found $35 plane tickets to Spokane. And we could go play the Coeur d'Alene course this summer. Like, do you want to go? And he was like, sure, let's do it. So we went that year, and then we were like, hey, let's try to get some more people the next year and some more people the next year. And it started as the 2 of us, and then last year we got it up to 6. This year it should be 8, but we have a group of guys that every summer we go and we play a different set of golf courses, and now it's a little bit of a Ryder Cup style tournament. At dinner of the last night, we spin the wheel of destination. Everybody throws in where they want to go the next year, and then we spin the wheel and we figure out where we go. And it was at the last dinner we had in Portland that somebody said, hey, you guys, that first round, you guys hit that big birdie, and you guys were all dancing like a bunch of sand cranes on the course. And Sean goes, that's a golf company name right there. And then we all just were joking about it and having fun. And then we got back, and it was go time, and that's where this guy kind of hit the ground and started the thing.
Yeah. So it's kind of some context and background. So I used to run a marketing company for 1031 exchanges that I got rid of in 2019. So just before COVID, because I was like, I think I'm going to go actually use my college degree and teach high school for a little bit to see if I actually like it. But we were sitting there like, I've done a small business before. This golf industry, it's $9 billion. How hard could apparel be, right? But we kind of got back, and I was like, Josh, I'm going to do this. Like, what do you guys think? And so we threw it out to our group. Let's do this. Let's give it a shot. And so we spent the next several months kind of going through some ideas of operating, how membership would look, who would operate, who would be investors. And so kind of from there, we started vetting manufacturers, started trying to think about what we wanted to manufacture, what we wanted to make. We didn't want to just be kind of like a drop ship company, or we didn't want to do our own like heat transfers. We actually wanted to manufacture and make things that kind of represented not only us, as operators, but like as the group and, things we would buy. Golf's got a lot of struggles right now as far as it's very expensive. You can go buy a sublimated polo from a golf brand, cost you $110. And we just kind of think that's not right, because the reality is everything's made in about 3 factories in the same spot. So it's like, if we can offer our consumers an alternative that has the same quality at a value price that we feel is a good entry point to our customers, we have a shot. And then, we kind of both kind of like the idea of this vintage modern. You look at our logo, it's very kind of old country club looking. And so we kind of have heavily leaned into that and kind of got going. So it's been a really interesting 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. Really hard to do during football season. We had a really good, football year this year, and we didn't end the season I mean, we started the business in July. We went to football camp. Our season ended the week before Thanksgiving. And then from Thanksgiving until about Christmas, we just hit the ground and just really try to get it out there. Anything I'm missing on this? Like it's,
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I mean, what you can expect. I teach PE. Like I'm learning all these things about marketing. I'm learning all these things about advertising. I'm trying to figure out what to put in there, how to put it in there, what actually gets people to buy things, how do you get people to click on ads, that type of stuff. He's done all of it. And I was like, why aren't you doing this? He goes, no, because you're good at it. Let's go. You learn how to do it. Let's hit the ground running. I'll do the other stuff. You take care of that. And you're right. Those six guys, everybody's got a voice. Everybody's got a style. And the crazy part is, like, if you watch the six of us golf and we line up, not one of us is wearing the same stuff. We all
Not
have a
even
different
close.
style.
all different.
We all have different things that we like. We all have different tees that we like. We all have different clubs. None of us are like, this is what we like. So it's been interesting to see like where we go and what direction we take this thing in.
That would be my biggest question, right? Because I'm a golfer. I played in college, played at Mountain. You know, I've been around the golf industry a lot. And it's very like diluted. Like I'm tired of golf clothes. Like they all look the same. It seems like, you know, there's nothing distinguished on. Malvin now is like the first one in a while. It's like starting to distinguish from, you know, the tight athletic plastic kind of shirts. But you know, I just imagine, you know, six guys at a table, you know, looking at a design, trying to agree, right? Trying to get, you know, all six guys to agree on something, almost like the, you know, was it 12 Angry Men, the old school movie? But is that what it's like, or and how has it been trying to collaborate to produce one product?
So we were really smart. So we call ourselves 4 teachers, a landman, and a lawyer is our investment group. So one of our guys is an attorney. And so we were able like to be strategic in how this operates. And it's contracted. So really, end of the day, we have final say on everything we do. And so they give us a lot of trust. And with that comes a lot of feedback, good and bad. But you know, we have been pretty fortunate, I would say, to like really err on the side of like, okay, we like this. This looks good. I think the challenge has been translating that to consumers, right? And so, again, understanding the new world of marketing, especially with Meta, and navigating those pieces. But as far as the day-to-day operating goes, we really don't get a lot of stepping on toes. There's a lot of trust, a lot of feedback, positive and negative, but we've so far navigated it, I think, fairly well as a startup.
Yeah, not too bad. It is. There's a lot of people, and everybody kind of has, this is kind of what they thought. I think one of our biggest challenges has been trying to figure out, it's not about like what we would wear. It's like we're trying to build something that, you know, thousands of people would want to wear. So we've been kind of going back and forth, and we all have these different ideas of what we like. And then it's just been trying to find the right things that are like, okay, this is something that we think a vast majority of the people are going to find this to be something that's nice or something that's cool. Not just and getting away from this whole, like the first 3 or 4 months, we were just building stuff that we liked. Like, oh, I really like this. I really like this. I really like this. And then you're like, well, wait a minute. Like, how many of me are there out there that would want to buy this? Okay, we got to pump the brakes, back it up a little bit, figure out and try and find something that works for the masses and not just the niche of what we like.
Yeah, and I think that's where we're really trying to, like, again, you were mentioning like Malbon, like one of the first brands that's kind of shifting out a little bit of like what the traditional style is. We went to the Open this week, right, in Phoenix, and we walked around and nobody had the same shirt on, but they all were wearing the same things. They all were micro prints, kind of light pastels and whites and grays. And so it was all very consistent. So it was really interesting to go out and like get that affirmation of like, okay, we're trying to be onto something here. I just think it's really hard to break that cycle of like where consumers like to buy right now. We did a run of polos for waste management that we were like, oh, nobody's going to buy this. This thing is, but it was like, it fit the vibe of what the weekend was. It's our best selling polo. And so it's kind of like, okay, maybe again, we're on to something here. We just got to keep leaning into what does the market want and then what are consumers looking for and expecting. And hopefully we can keep trying to find little pockets to break through. Because again, we were there, like we were looking at Sunday Red, right? They're coming out to all 100% cotton. They were selling 100% cotton unstructured hat for $110.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
And we went. That was the first place we went. We got in on Thursday, and we were like, we're gonna go when it's a little bit less hectic. We're gonna go on Thursday. We went in. Got to the merch tent before everything was gone, and it was kind of funny. We were getting looks from people because everybody else is like looking at the shirts and like looking at the patterns. We're like turning them inside out and looking at the stitching to see is this sublimated? Is this dyed ink? Is this? Then
What's
we're like
the
looking at each
fabric
other going,
weights?
we're going, this is exactly like ours. This is exactly like ours. This is sublimated like ours. This one's $144. So we felt like we're on the right path. We found some manufacturers that we think are giving us a good product and a price point that we think that a majority of the golfers would like to see again in the golf world.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's awesome that you're able to take the same product essentially and reduce the price. Obviously, that speaks to people like me who are not quite as well off as the average
Right.
golfer right now in my point of view or point of life. You guys said you're kind of trying to find your niche of consumer. Where do you feel that sweet spot lies?
Oh, you know what? I'll be honest. I think we have an idea where it lies, but where the data is telling us it's at right now, we're still learning, right? We've been selling products, like legit selling products since January 1. Like that was we had some early release stuff in December where we literally were selling 2 hoodies and like 3 hats. Where it's like, oh, let's just get it out there, let our friends and family kind of see it. And then January 1 kind of came around. We started having polos and a few more products, and we've got more stuff in the pipeline that's coming out. We had 3 polos hit yesterday. We have 2 new hat designs that finished manufacturing.
Yeah.
So I think we're trying to find where that consumer is at. What we are finding is our consumers are not from Arizona, and they tend to be corporate based, and kind of in that demographic. So when we built a consumer profile when we started this, we were like, okay, the typical golf consumer right now is 30 to 45. And then we kind of did some demographics, looking at income, education, all those things, and kind of matching it. And so what we're finding is our sales data is kind of affirming that. What we are struggling with and what any small startup struggles with is trust. And how do you build consumer trust? And so do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's been the one thing. So we get the analytics from the websites, and right now our 2 biggest platforms, we've kind of tried to stay away from Google and that side of it and the true ads, and we've really tried to hit social media. TikTok and Meta have been our 2 big ones. I think it was really rough because we started those literally right away, right in July when we started the company. So we spent 6 months trying to build a golf company and a golf apparel company on TikTok with no apparel. And trying to gain and gather followers through that, and it's really kind of picked up as we've started to get some more apparel. I think we're closing in on 1,000 followers on TikTok, and I think we're closing in on 400 or 500 on Instagram that have really all been since about the middle of December. So it's gaining, and each day it pops up a little bit, but it's been interesting. We keep going back and forth. We're like, man, we're getting good visits. The data's saying we're getting people to click on our ads. They're clicking on our ads. They're getting to our site. They're looking around, and just nobody's putting anything in the carts. And what the data tells you on that is if people are getting to your site and people are looking at stuff on your site, you usually don't have a bad product, because they wouldn't have clicked on the ad if the product was actually bad. So they're getting there, and then it just comes down to the analytics say that you have one of 2 things. There's something in your checkout process that's stopping them from finishing it, or they just don't have that trust in your company yet. And we're trying to figure out how to top that hurdle, because if we're getting purchases that were matching our visits, we'd be killing it right now.
Yeah. So everything kind of goes to, I don't know how much background you guys have, like in purchase funnels or sales funnels. So you go from click to views to in carts to purchase. And so for online retailers specifically, you want to have your clicks to views to be about a 60% rate. So if they click on an ad, they view something about 60%. We are actually running on average about 85 to 90%. So people are visiting our site, they're clicking, they're spending some time on there. It's that cart to purchase, and that's just trust. We do, we have some ideas where it's laying, where we need to fill that gap. Getting product views is always number one. But the online world, they try to make sure there's like a lot of trust in that. So they kind of filter us out, and we don't get any say in that. Our consumers get a feedback survey 14 days after we ship the product. So we kind of have to like rely on that. But then lifestyle photos, right? Like just guys want to see themselves in clothes that look like them just as much as women do, believe it or not. And so we really are trying to like figure out that next step, because neither one of us and anybody in this group are fashion models and great like photogenic. So it's like, how do we navigate that? And so we go back and forth, like, do we hire it out, or do we continue to kind of stay true to who we are as a group of owners and show us wearing the product? So that's kind of where we're at now, and hoping again to continue to build that trust of like, yes, this is an online company, but the product is real. And you can trust the brand promise kind of we are leaning into as a company.
It's so interesting to like kind of hear you break that all down, right? Like, yeah, golf is such an older thing. It's older sport, older demographics, but in the last couple of years, it's shifted drastically younger, right? Due to COVID,
yes.
Due to the game. I've seen that all transpire in front of me in real time. And solely out of curiosity, have there been talks about NIL deals and maybe that's an avenue you can go down with? Because that's something that happened to me midway through college is that became legal. That became part of the rules.
Yeah.
And I remember the first month, Cole Hammer, who I don't know how much golf sickos you guys are, but he was 15, qualified for the US Open way back at Chambers Bay, was a stud at University of Texas, and he was wearing he was sponsored by the Brady brand. Tom Brady started a golf brand. I don't know if it's a golf brand, but it's a outerwear brand.
Mm-hmm.
And Cole Hammer sponsored it in college. I was like, how genius is that? Like, screw paying someone so much money. Let's just go to Cole Hammer for a share of the price, and hopefully he's big. Is that something you guys are talking about, or was that just lucky on the Brady brand and Cole Hammer?
We haven't mentioned, but we did actually manufacture and make a golf ball. So not only did we make apparel, but we actually made some consumables. We made some tees that are coming out. We've seen them. They are done. They're packaged. The ball's done. We tested it. That's a whole other conversation of just going through the testing process of because again, there's 6 of us. We all play a different golf ball for different reasons. Some of us play a ball just because the value it has, because the sticker price during Father's Day is a 2-for-1. That's a real thing, right? And so going through that process was really challenging. But with the golf ball, we have a contact. Where does she play? It was a kid. It was a college team.
It's a college. It's so one of our partners is in Wyoming, and she's a college golfer. I want to say that she's at Eastern Wyoming, playing golf there right now. But she's from the area that he's from in Wyoming, and they were like, "Yo, you're making a golf ball?" And then Wyoming town, everybody knows everybody, everybody's friends. So she was really interested in getting some and hitting them to see I'll play that ball. I'll rep your brand out if I like it. So we did. I spent a lot of time on that golf ball. So I'm really excited to see when it gets here. The branding on the golf ball, we spent a lot of time on that. The branding really plays to our vintage modern. A lot of cream, a lot of navy, some gold accents. But the golf ball, we feel it's a really good golf ball. It's a 3-piece. urethane cover golf ball. So exactly like Titleist Pro V1, exactly like, the TaylorMades that everybody's playing. It's not a 5-piece, but it's a good solid 3-piece ball. Played numerous rounds in the simulator with them, hitting the wedges, hitting driver. Played numerous rounds with the ball out on the courses. I personally, I hit it very similar to the ball that I usually play. I usually play a Pro V1 or I play a Vice Pro. In the simulator, it was awesome, dude. I was getting 13, 14,000 RPMs with my 54, and the ball was, you could just feel it off the club face, just spin. And we played, we actually went down and played we we went and played it. We left a little early as football coaches. We played a game in Vegas this year. We had to go down and prep the field. So we played a round of golf a day earlier, and we played with it there. I mean, we were getting balls to spin out of the sand greenside bunker with this. So we're pretty excited about it. The goal with the ball is, we feel like the apparel's great. The ball could bring real golf legitimacy to the company if it takes off.
And if not, we tried, right? The ball market is a hard market to break into. But again, for us, it kind of goes back and leans into golfers like us. Should we, for a 3-piece ball, should we be paying $42, or can we go out there and get a ball that's comparable at 34, that's manufactured very much the same? We cut these open. We did a lot of testing. So we'll see what happens. As far as NIL goes, I think we're probably pretty early, and we've had some light conversations. We've got a few kids on the high school team that are repping the brand a little bit. One of them is a junior golfer, played in a junior national tournament out in Florida, and he took some stuff with them, and he was all Sandcraned out, so that's good. But I think for us is as a lean startup, we're probably not there yet. Would that be something we look into? Yeah, I mean, we got our 1 year, 3 year, 5 year goals. Because again, 70% fell in the first year, 90% after 3. So we're trying to break that 10% mold. So I think it's something we will have conversations around and move forward to. But I think a lot of the times too, we're just trying to find our footing in this world, because there's so many brands. I'm not on social media, but Barton is in the different number of golf brands that pop up as ads through Meta is just insane. And so we really got to lean into knowing who our customer is, and what value we bring to them. So that's kind of where we sit, and that's kind of where my background comes from, is just understanding value in marketing and how to get consumers. Just apparel is a different beast. And so we're really trying to find that niche. So hopefully we can get to the point where it's hey, we can rep some local college golfers, do some stuff with ASU, maybe GCU. That'd be really cool. I have a relationship with some friends that played at Purdue, both on the men's and women's team. They've actually bought some of our products and said they were surprised how good it was, which is always a slightly backhanded compliment, right? It's oh, this surprisingly was really good. But it is we feel like we've really we vetted manufacturers for so long and spent so much money getting samples and going through the sizing processes that we feel comfortable in saying that we will put our name behind our brand, our reputation, and stand behind the product, because we believe that there should be an entry point for consumers that isn't overpriced, that gives you quality, not just affordability. And that's a big thing, right? Sometimes you buy something, it's oh, is this Temu cheap? And it's no, this is we want to give you a product at an affordable price. And two, because we're small, we can afford to, right? Our gross cost of sales is not what it is in some of those larger brands. So we're able to kind of lean into some of that kind of ideology and stick to it.
Yeah, no, that's a big part, because we had a big push of friends and family that were kind of the first people that bought, right was it in between Christmas and New Year, somewhere in there?
It was mid-December.
So I've got a buddy that I played with at Wyoming who's a big golfer, low handicap guy, wins his club championship all the time up in Colorado, and he bought a hat. So he just bought one of our hats, those Sandcrane hat, and all I got was a text message that said Bargy. what is going on here? And I was like, well, what's going on? He goes, like, this is like legit packaging. You have like real packaging, and you have like you're giving out like stickers with it, and it's like in nice packaging, and there's like a quote and a flyer. Like, he goes, this is real. Like, this isn't like here's a package. And I'm like, yeah, this is like a real company, dude. It reminded me of the scene from Major League when he was like, yeah, we got uniforms and everything. I didn't know Cleveland had a team. And she goes, yeah, we got uniforms and everything. Yeah. So it reminded me of that. And I was like, no, man, it's real. And he's like, dude, he goes, the quality of the hat's like terrific. I was like, yeah, this is like real good stuff. It's just at the price point we feel like it should be at. So it was really cool to get, that kind of response from, even though they're friends, you want your friends to give you like their real honest opinion, so you can really use that to move forward, because usually your friends will tell you exactly how it is. So that was pretty good when he said, this is like real deal. This is nice. So he was like, yeah.
I think Josh also hits on a good point. Just that changing consumer behavior, right? So the expectation right now in the golf market is you do pay a premium on quite a few things. And so when you actually get a price point that is pre-COVID, pre-explosion of the golf game, which we all love, like we celebrate. We were out at Grass Clippings a couple weeks ago, and that's such a fun location down there by ASU. But like, how do we change consumer behavior so you don't go and buy that Johnny O, giving them a free plug here, $110 sublimated polo, probably made in the same factory, where you can get ours for $42?
42. Yeah.
So, and it's same fit, same length, same fabric, same weight, all that, and just so like changing consumer behavior is hard. I think we've all, and this is just speaking as a whole, I think as consumers, we've kind of come accustomed to paying the price what it is, right? Because that's just what it is. And so,
yeah, it's one of those games. Like we said this when we were driving to Waste Management that Thursday morning. I was like, it just feels like right now, like golf prices and just prices in general are like five guys sitting in a room going, hey, how much do you think they'll pay for this? And then they just keep going up and up and up and up. And it's like they just keep going because we just keep paying for it.
There was it was a heat transfer t-shirt. So this is like something you can make in your garage with some online Amazon supplies by a pretty major golf brand that probably cost them $2 to manufacture and make. They were selling it for $65, and it's not good quality, because those heat transfers, you wash it a couple times, you don't turn it inside out, it's going to pill, right? And so we've done, weird to say, we as teachers, we've done some research on how to make manufacturing like types of fabrics and dyes and all these enzyme washes and stuff. And it's like, man, people are willing to spend the money, but you're not really like, are we blind to the quality? So, we're gonna try to disrupt a little bit. We say, what do we want? 0.011% of the market to believe in us. And we'll be successful. Just because where the market is right now in the golf industry as a whole.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just to find where you're lying in that. And you guys touched a bit on your goals for the 1-3-5. What are those goals?
To not shut down in year one, right? So that's like being like legit, right? Can we survive?
Sure.
Because you spend all this capital in startup, and then you've got to find your consumer. We were joking. We've been on a little bit of sell streak. So like we had a slow start. We might go a full 10 days without a transaction. We were on a little bit of a heater. So we were having sales every day, and we had some big transactions in there and some big days of sales. And so we would text each other a little, we're going streaking from old school, right? With Frank the Tank and Will Ferrell's characters. So we're going streaking because the streak kind of continued. And outside of Super Bowl Sunday, we're still on it. And so that's a good thing. And so I think for us, our goal originally was to try to track, 8 sales a month?
Yeah, I think, we were thinking 2 sales a week would be a very good start for us.
That's like a startup online brand. Like that's where the market data tells you. We crossed 100 sales 10 days ago, and we are at 140 transactions. So, I think for us is just to continue to grow the brand, and keep the lights on for a year. End of the year, we want to be at Waste Management. We want to be in the tent. We don't want to be outside. We want to be inside. There's an application process for that starts in the fall. So we definitely want to land in there. We would like to be at Waste Management next year, because all those brands have reps in the tent who are responsible for their brand. And so we want to be in there. Like, we feel like we belong. We felt like the hat we did, the t-shirt we did, and the pole this year, we're on par with everybody. We've actually are still selling the hats post Waste Management and still seeing those sales come in. So that's really interesting. I think people might have a little FOMO of missing out. The sales have been out of the state of Arizona, so that's really cool to see. I think for us too, our big goal this summer is to build a catalog so we can get in pro shops. I think that's something we can offer, because of our price point, a pretty fair wholesale rate to golf courses. And so we would like to be able to build that golf relationship with them. We actually have a couple courses here who have already said they look forward to making orders for 27, because those orders kind of happen on the back end of every calendar year, and we just kind of missed it. So I think, we want to definitely be in Waste Management the next year. We want to be, I think 3 golf courses is a reasonable goal. We are going to be actually in a course this year in Wyoming, which is really cool. We've got a partnership we're working on with some golf simulators to be the ball of choice for the simulators. So that's kind of cool. I think 3 years from now, I think honestly, if Barge and I could say, hey, we're former teachers and we're running the day-to-day on this, that would be awesome. Nothing against being in the classroom. Like, I love coming to school every day and teaching, high school students. It's fun. I mean, I came into it in 19. I've loved every minute of it. I could have gone back to marketing, but I just chose not to. The coaching part would be hard to walk away from for myself.
Yeah.
But I think for us, I think if we could say in 3 years from now, we're still operating and we're having to spend the time that we are spending in the classroom focusing on the business, I think we will have been successful. We're not asking, to be a multi-million-dollar company by any sense of the word. Like, that was never the intent of this. But I think it'd be really cool if we could say that this all started from a group of guys playing in our Wyazona Cup, Ryder Cup style, and just sitting at dinner one night in Portland and be like, hey, this should be a golf company. And then, turning that kind of dream into a reality would be really cool for me. What about you?
That would be really nice. I think the Waste Management part, just because it's local and it's so big, like it is like people, like it was huge this year. Like, everybody from outside, it just took over social media. It was really weird because we were like trying to figure out how to get this thing rolling. And we were like, why is nobody on this yet? And then the Monday of Waste Management, everybody dropped their TikToks and everybody dropped their social media stuff. And it was like, just that week was wild on social media. But yeah, the getting in a couple golf courses, not having to close the doors would be awesome. I'm the same. I'd loved in 3 years now doing this again with you guys, and we're not having to blur out the school behind us, and we're actually in a legit office, and that is our corporate office. That would be awesome. But all 6 of us said, best case scenario, this buys our golf trip for the rest of our lives. Like, that was like, if we can make enough money that we don't ever have to pay to go on this golf trip again, then we're winning. So we set the bar a little low, but
that was lit. Like, we were like, 'cause again, it was kind of a joke. Like, legit was like, oh, we really doing this? And then it was like, okay, I guess we are doing this. And it was like, oh, this is actually kind of working. But yeah, it was just like, oh, it can host our annual golf tournament between the 6 investors and just have a little corporate retreat, talk some meetings and strategy, and play some golf and talk a lot of trash, and try to have Team Arizona continue to beat Team Wyoming for a second year in a row.
We're tied. It's tied. We're tied, 1-1.
But we want to repeat again this year.
So it's tied 1-1. We've gone. This will be year 6, but this will be the 3rd year of the actual Wyazona Cup.
I'd love to get right into that, right? Because I do love what you're saying, right? The goal is to basically write off your golf trips, just to get them paid for, and anything more is cherry on the top. But getting more into the golf specific stuff, how did the golf trips even start, right? Because I mean, obviously teachers naturally have summers off, so summer golf trips is the best. But did it just simply start with a text, or was it premeditated for a while and just never got out of the group chat? talk to me about that. And
No,
how
This is his baby. This is good.
This is mine, man.
I'm from Coeur d'Alene, so I
I'm-
caddied at the resort. My dad now works up there. I go there every summer. I've played every course up there. So I do want to hear how the first one went.
Okay, so the very first one, it was me and my college buddy from the University of Wyoming, who's one of our other investors, Matt. So I kid you not, man. It happened during COVID. You couldn't, the only thing that was open in the whole world was golf courses. That was it.
Yeah.
That was all you could do. You could only golf. So somehow we were talking, and I hadn't seen him in a while. And I was like, dude, let's go play golf somewhere. Let's go play golf somewhere. And he goes, hey, my buddy just got back from Coeur d'Alene. He played the island course. He goes, it's so cool. And I was like, all right. So I just $35 ticket. I'm not kidding you. It was 35 each way to Spokane, round trip, direct flight from Phoenix to Spokane. Southwest, when they were still doing their cool thing where they didn't charge you for anything, right? They didn't charge you for bags. They didn't charge you for your golf bag. I mean, I got to Coeur d'Alene for $35. We got a rental car. He was like, fine, let's do it. He's a lawyer. You can take the time off. We went up there and we played it. And we played the first course that we played is probably one of my favorite courses and definitely his favorite course. Circling Raven might be one of the coolest golf courses ever made.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we went up there and I was like, dude, we can play these two courses. We can play Circling Raven. And he's a gambler a little bit. So I was like, there's a casino there too. And that's how I got him. I got him with the casino. But so we went up, we played those two courses, and then we got back and we were like, let's do it again. Let's make sure that we do this every year. This has been probably one of the coolest things we've ever done. I haven't seen you in like 3 or 4 years. Let's do this. Let's make sure every year we get together, we do this. And then the next year, two more of the buddies of the 6 showed up, and we went to Tahoe. So we went to Tahoe. We played Edgewood.
The Biltmore.
Nice.
We stayed at the Biltmore Hotel. God rest her soul. She's no longer with us, but it was it should have been The Shining. It was The Shining. We stayed at what's the name of the hotel in The Shining?
It's in Colorado. It's so bad.
Yeah.
We stayed there. It was you walked in and it was like I sold him on the fact that, hey, we're not going to be there that often. It's not super expensive. You got 3 or 4 teachers here. It's under $200 a night, and it's got this old vintage. It's got a legit vintage vibe. Yeah. And then we got there, and no kidding, it had a vintage vibe. It had not been cleaned or updated since 1962. I swear, it was like Hot Tub Time Machine. You went just right back into It was 1962. Shag carpet, chandeliers, everything was
smell.
Dark.
Just walk in, it smells, and you're like, we had two outlets in our room. The one outlet had the TV and the fan plugged into it, so there was nothing there. And the only other outlet in the room was 2 inches. I kid you not, 2 inches from the water in the bathroom. So right above the sink, the 2 inches, it was this far, was the only other plug. So we're charging our phones in the bathroom. Place was crazy, but they're building something new there. When Tahoe comes back, we're staying at the new one. But we had 4 that week, and then the next time we went to St. George. So the year 3 was at St. George. We went and played Mesquite courses. So we played Wolf Creek. And then we drove up and we played Sand Hollow, which is one of my other favorite courses I've ever played. Not only is the scenery beautiful, but like you can be the world's worst golfer and find a green there. They are the biggest, largest greens I've ever played. Half of the greens had sprinklers in the middle of the green because they were so big. Like I loved that course. So we had 4 there. And then the next year, Matt had to cancel. And we had to change a little up, and only 3 of us went because we had a different meeting that we had to go to. So we left, we went to a different conference, and then we ended up playing with the conference in Chicago. So we were there. We're like, well, shoot, if we're in Chicago, we should play Cog Hill. Yep.
So we played Cog Hill that year. That might be one of the hardest courses I've ever played. Have you played it?
It's
Have
hard.
You been there?
Yeah. I've played
it's so hard.
To the point where my coach, I put there for a college tournament, he goes, Elmore, if you're gonna miss the green, hit it the damn bunker because you're not hitting it out of this route.
I know.
It's just
Dude,
like,
it was
okay.
elevated greens, and then every green had 4 quadrants of height. So like you would get it onto the green, and you'd be like, "Oh, great!" And it's like a 30-yard putt or 30-foot putt, and there's like 6 breaks.
Yeah, it was brutal.
But and then after that, we finally got our first round of 6. So we got 6 guys, and we went back to Coeur d'Alene, and we played Circling Raven again. We played the resort course, and then we went up to Sandpoint and played Idaho Club. Yeah,
nice.
So that was the first year of the Wyozona Cup, and that was really cool. Wyoming won that one.
Yep.
Wyoming won that one. And then we got 6 more guys that come in.
We rotated one guy out, couldn't come.
Unfortunately, sorry to him.
He missed the wrong golf trip.
He missed the wrong golf
He
trip.
didn't come on this one, and he's not part of us. He's like, I feel a little left out.
Yeah.
But then we went to Portland. So we went to Portland, played Camas Meadows. We played Langdon Farms, which again, like kind of underrated public only course. We played Pumpkin Ridge. The Ghost Creek, and which was funny. We're playing, and they had a college day for incoming recruits there from Oregon and Oregon State. And the golf coach is behind us, like, "What are you guys doing? Why are you guys playing back? This course is hard enough." Like they were like teasing us to play up from the whites because that course is pretty challenging. It was a lot of fun. Started getting some of that Oregon weather, so we got the rain. And then we went and played that last day.
The last day was at the Vineyard, the reserve at the Vineyards, and it rained the whole day.
So 18 holes in a downpour.
18 holes in a downpour, but that's where we're at. And then that night was the Wheel of Destination, and that was you guys were strutting like Sandcranes, and Reedy hitting it with the, "Hey, that sounds like a golf name," and then we just kind of laughed it off. And then the Wheel of Destination hit. We were hoping we had 6 guys. We had 3 of us had picked, without anybody else knowing, 3 of us had picked Northern Michigan as a spot. Somebody had picked Tahoe, and then so 3 Tahoes. 3 Northern Michigans, a Tahoe, what did Matt pick? We had one that was like,
going back to Napa.
Oh, going back to Napa.
Or Napa.
Going to Napa. And then we had a San Diego. And the San Diego is what hit. So this summer we're going to be Torrey Pines and a couple of other courses around there.
North and south. So,
but yeah, that's kind of where it got. And this year it sounds like we're probably going to have 8. So it's going to be even better. 6 was kind of tough with some of the spacing.
Alternating shot and stuff is really weird with 3. Like it's hard to get in a rhythm playing. So we're hoping with jumping the extra 2 guys, it'll be a little bit of a better year for us. So we're excited. I
get real nerdy and have created all the stuff and found a way to like score it and get a live leaderboard or a leaderboard and all that. So I have a tendency to, if somebody gives me a topic, to slightly get stuck on it. So that's helped with this company. I have not given up on it at all. I get they make fun of me because they'll see me sitting at the computer and all I'll be doing is twisting what hair I have left, trying to figure out, what am I doing? How am I going to make this happen? So I get a little, I'll zone into something and make sure that it gets done.
It's been good.
It's a good person to have on your side.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm sure you haven't made too many golf balls before. I'm sure.
No,
that's
helps you with that. It's the first for just about everything. About everything. We don't. They don't teach us how to make. They teach us how to hit golf balls in college when you're learning to be a PE teacher, but they don't teach you how to make them.
Yeah, I'm sure. What kind of research did you do to even start with that?
Oh, how much research did I do?
Yeah, where do you even start?
Doing research,
creating a golf ball.
I cut open a bunch to start just to see what they look like. I knew what I liked. I knew the feel. I started learning the verbiage. There's really only 2 styles of golf balls. There's a urethane cover and there's a Surlyn cover golf ball. Those are really the only 2. One is for, swing speeds are a little bit slower. You don't really need the spin or the feel. You're just trying to hit the ball and not lose it. And then the urethane cover is going to be for more people who are trying, shot shaping and trying to get some feel around the greens and make solid putts. But And then now they got all the 5-layer balls. So you get the range balls are usually just a single core ball. There's no layer. And then you have the 2 different styles. And then, learning the dimple pattern was crazy. And then these balls are actually going to be USGA certified. So they're going to conform to USGA. So the good news is that if we do get some college golfers that want to use it or that, then it will fit in with and be usable in real tournaments. So that was a big plus. But yeah, man, I started learning like what was in each layer, and it was like, okay, I got to slow back. I got to stop. Like, just pump the brakes a little bit. Yeah.
Dimple depth, dimple pattern.
Yeah. It was wild. And then it was like, and then the guy just sent me a blank PDF file that was the box. And he's like, hey, don't forget, you got to make a box too. And then I was like, oh man. So I started looking at all these different box designs and like, okay, what's vintage? What looks modern? How do we make this work? What could sell? How do we play off of this? So it was like that. The ball, we started sourcing the ball in July, and we weren't complete and ready to have the ball till I believe it was like right at the beginning of December. So yeah, it was wild, man. I start saying things around the other 2 teachers that are with us that are a part of it, and we'll start using like the actual like manufacturing lingo. And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Oh no, that's just the cover of the ball," or something like that. That's just the cover of the ball. That's just the way the box is. Oh, and I asked, so we were sourcing out some screen printing that we needed to get done here like quick. And one of the guys had a guy who was a screen printer. And I was like, oh yeah, ask him what his MOQ is. And he's like, his what? And I was like, oh yeah, that minimum order quantity. So how many do we have to give him? And he's like, oh, okay. So we start saying all that stuff, and it's like you just start living that world, and it's like a whole different language. It's a whole different like way to think about things. I find myself at like stores now, like not looking at patterns, like looking at stitching and like looking at the inside of the shirt,
trying to figure out the weight, right? The GSM, the grams per square meter, and the weight of the fabric, because like different weights drape different. I mean, it's a little weird. My wife gives me weird looks. Like she'll go every once in a while, like we'll go to Nordstrom or Nordstrom Rack, and she's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I can't bring you because you're like pulling, like seeing how things like it's just."
How the sublimation works, like, oh, what does their neck label look like? All those little things. It's been crazy, man, and it's been really, really fun. It's a different type of excitement. Like the teaching part is fun and like interacting with the people, but like this whole like trying to build this and figure out like it's a lot like teaching, because you're trying to figure out like what people like and like what people don't like, and then you're like, oh yeah, they like that, so let's do that. So it's been interesting that way. But yeah, I find myself looking at weird stuff now. Like I don't like or like we'll be shopping and I'll be taking pictures and sending them to Sean. Like I'll just send him a picture. Like, I kind of like what this looks like, and she's like, what are you doing? Why are you taking pictures of it? I was like, oh, just so I have this on my phone, so like if we think about like later, we can do something like this, and this looks kind of cool. This fits kind of our vibe. But yeah, that's been the biggest thing, is like just the flip of the switch of like what I'm looking for in products now is wild.
I think going back to the ball, I think the one thing that like, yes, we want to believe the legitimacy of our brand and all those things, but I think it's also maybe the scariest thing, right? Because we all play a ball for a reason. Like, what do you play? Like, what ball do you play? Let's plug them right now.
I play left dash, Pro V1X. So,
okay.
And the second, and again, I'm not like super geeky on equipment stuff, but my title is growing up. One day he gave me a box of left dashes, and I played around with them, and I was like, this could be totally placebo, but I was like, this ball lasts a lot longer.
Yeah.
And
yep.
I like it. So, without even getting on a TrackMan, I simply just grabbed it, went straight to the first tee, play 9 holes, played good, and the ball had, barely any marks in it. And since then I've played it since. I've asked us, hey, give me as many boxes as you can. And set, I'll play other ball. I won't play anything other than a Titleist. I haven't done that since I don't know how long. So I wasn't good at golf. But
everybody knows like that is
They're
the
good.
ball. Like,
That is the
Yeah.
ball.
that's the ball.
And we're not saying we're Titleist ball. We're saying we're offering golfers who may not know an opportunity to play a ball at an affordable price that you don't care that you lost in the water on 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
Like,
would
tell
be me.
I tell people to play Vices. Like the guys that come up to me and they ask me a bunch of questions, I'm like, hey, go play. Well, this is before this podcast came out, but like, hey, go play Vice, because Vice is
No, I play Vice. That's a good ball.
It's way less.
Great
It's
ball.
way less money than any other performative ball, and I'm telling you, it's right there. Like it's just fine, right? And so, and especially golf, like golfers are superstitious. Even clothing, I wear maybe 2 brands. Like there's 2 brands of clothing that I wear, and
That's
I have this stuff
true.
in my closet. But I don't wear it, and I'm the least superstitious golfer, but man, I wear 2 things of clothing. I play 1 ball, and God forbid I forget a belt on the golf course. I'm in my head's spinning on the first tee.
Yeah.
And so, you talk about that market share. Once you find your people, they're not going to leave you. If they like it, they trust you. It's going to take me a lot of mess ups from certain brands to get me away from them, because I've played the same brand of clubs since forever. I've never had a different club other than Ping. I'm local, but that's just how we are. That's how golfers are. So
I played for, so let's say I took up golf. I legitimately took up golf in high school. So I've been playing golf for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
And I remember I bought a set of clubs. There was a guy in my hometown who, they're called they're knockoff clubs now, but he was making custom clubs. You know what I mean? But I remember when I was a sophomore in high school, I bought a pair of knockoff TaylorMade racks, and it was RQR or something like that is what it said on it. They looked exactly like the old cavity back racks that TaylorMade made. He put the dynamic gold shafts on them, and he hit me with the nice wind grips, and I played those golf clubs all the way until 2020.
Yeah.
Not knowing that there's probably like better golf clubs out there. And then during that COVID year when I played so much golf, my handicap went from I was probably 18, 19, and I got it all the way down to about a 7. I got fitted for clubs, and now I've played those clubs since then. So I got fitted. I was like, holy, there is a huge difference in this. This is amazing.
Yep.
But yeah, I did the same thing up until Vice came out. I played whatever ball was kind of in the bag. Like you get 3 from here, you get 3 from there, or somebody handed you a ball and you just kind of played those, and you went and played around and you found 8 balls, and whatever balls you found that round, you played the next round. Like I played that type of golf. And then, I played some Pro V1s, and I was like, oh, it's a really good golf ball. That's like a really good golf ball. And then Vice came out, and I started playing Vice because I was like, well, let's see. They say it's like a Pro V1. It's a little bit cheaper in there. That's a really, 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 really good golf ball. So, and then I've kind of just gone back and forth about playing things. And now I'm super excited to start playing this one because I've just put so much time and effort into knowing that this is a really good golf ball. We were joking. We finally got the proofs back of the ball and the bat in the box, and I was like, man, you know what we forgot or didn't really forget, or I purposely didn't.
An intentional mistake. It's an intentional mistake.
We didn't number
our golf balls.
So our goal is we didn't number it because you're gonna write on it anyways.
Yeah.
So you're gonna put your own mark on it.
Yeah, Rory. I want him so bad, but if Taylor, I don't know if TaylorMade sells them or not, but Rory doesn't have a number in his golf ball. He just has Roars right below TaylorMade. And I was just dude, just put a logo there, and that's it. I think it'd stand out, and anyone's gonna mark it up anyway. And then even back to the packaging, it's so funny that you guys, are the amount of detail that you have to think about this, because I look at the Pro V packaging has been the same forever, but my dad's got a sleeve of old Stratus that he was sponsored by.
Okay.
And from the 90s, and I look at those and I'm like, first of all, I can't use them because it's the last ones he got, and I can't, for obvious reasons I can't use them. But I look at the packaging, I'm like, that's some nice packaging. Like, all I want to do is pop those things open and use them out for a round of golf. But you think about a modern kind of old school packaging. It's like, if I saw packaging like the Strata at a pro shop, again, for a guy that doesn't buy balls very often, I would really think about buying those golf balls. It's cool. So much goes into this, and it's so cool to hear, pick your guys' minds and see what you're thinking about, because it's not what everyone else is thinking about, which is awesome.
It's been a lot of fun, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of really early mornings, because again, we do have day jobs. So like, we start texting sometimes at 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Just because of just like the details of like the ins and outs of this. And so it's a lot of sleepless nights. Well,
working with manufacturers on the other side of the world,
Yeah.
It's we get 9 o'clock at night till we fall asleep with the phone in our hand, and then we wake up in the morning to see what the response is. So it's been interesting that way too.
Especially because we did vet American manufacturing, and it is limited, and it is very expensive. It's 4, 5, 6 multipliers different than if we use somebody like when we look at the golf balls. We actually talked to the manufacturer who manufactures Vice golf balls. Like, that was a conversation we had with them.
Yeah.
And so, but like, just the price points difference is just, again, leans into, and then as we did more digging, we found like legit, there's like 3 factories that make hats, and everybody's using the same ones, but the prices are all different. So then it's just kind of like, how do we do that? So yeah, the time difference is challenging. I think for us too, I think something we would love to find is like, again, getting into manufacturing here. But there's a lot of challenges as I said, a lean startup. We don't have a ton of investment capital. So I think if that's something we can transition as we go, there's some really cool stuff happening in Los Angeles with manufacturers and designers. And so if we can get to that market at some point, I think really love to lean into that. But right now it's just, how do you balance what you have available to deliver a product that you still can stand by and be proud of?
I mean, we could find a way to get a $500,000, $250,000 loan, and we could get the equipment to make our own golf balls here in the United States. But I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the molds. Like, we kind of looked into, it was about $150,000 just for the molds, just to get those kind of manufactured and made. So that's not even the product that goes into it, the mold to manufacture, and the labor. So it's kind of where we're at. And then as we found out, I mean, there's a few ball manufacturers, and they're all kind of doing the same things.
Yeah, there's the big ones where you're talking, minimum,
South Carolina.
Yeah, or they're doing them here. But for the most part, everybody's finding, somewhere else to get that ball. And then, the big dogs, those companies, the minimum order quantity, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dozens,
10,000 dozen,
to
get in on that. So, cause it was interesting, cause like Vice, like, they actually don't own the copyright on their ball. It's just manufactured at a plant that makes it for them. And so you want the exact Vice ball, you can get it, but you got to get 10,000 dozen, and we'll put your name on it. And so that kind of puts out a lot of smaller brands and discourages, because we don't have $500,000 to spend on just a one run shot of golf balls and then be out of capital. So, but we're proud again what we came up with. I started golfing legit, kind of started playing more and paying attention. I got randomly invited on this golf trip because they needed a 6. That's how I got involved. So I started playing a little bit more, but I was pleasantly surprised where my game is at on how the ball performed. Again, especially around the green and with wedges, it was how grippy and spinny that ball is, and you get the kind of response for my level of play was really impressive. So, we're hoping consumers like it. If not, I will be playing the same golf ball till I'm 75, because I've got a bunch of them.
We got a bunch of them.
Yeah, I get it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
what's to come for you guys? What are some new drops that you guys are coming down the pipe, or what are you excited about right now?
What are you excited about?
I'm ready for that ball to show up. I mean,
Yeah.
that's my biggest thing right now. I'm ready for the ball to show up. We're about. I guess another exciting thing is we're about to run out of the first run of hats that we made. So
Nice.
we're down to 3. We have 3 left. So the first order we ever did, we're down to 3 of that unit. So that's kind of exciting. Yeah, that's their whole.
But yeah, I mean,
like
we got
ordering quantities.
we got some shirts coming. We got some shirts coming. We're working on getting a couple of t-shirts that we're trying to go back and forth about how much golf needs to be on the t-shirt and how and maybe it's more of like a lifestyle shirt, a little golfy, but like more golf destination style. So maybe more cactus prints or something that's ocean themed or beach or something like that, but just trying not to like get too crazy. I was the one that bought all the crazy stuff. So when you watched us line up to get ready to play, I was always the one in the crazy colors and oranges and pinks and bright yellows. And also, I mean, I was the Bogey Bros guy. I thought that I had like 3 of them. It turns out I have maybe 10 or 12 of them. So I was that guy, and that's where kind of we found our different golf style. Like I wore golf shirts, but I only wore golf shirts when I golfed. Sean
I wear my golf shirts to school. Like, so we're both wearing shirts that are actually just came in yesterday. So we threw them on. So, but you can see we have a very different style. Like, I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. So kind of patterned. I'm more of a striped. But I will wear my golf shirts to school. I will teach in them. Just because of the comfort level in them. Right. So there's a few, but you look at my closet, it's probably 3 or 4 brands. Our brand now is probably challenging to be one of the top brands in my closet because
it's definitely
honestly I wear it because it's actually a good shirt, not just because I made it and not because I need to wear my brand. I'm actually like, it's a comfortable shirt to be in all day long. Like I would coach in this. I definitely will teach in this. I will play golf in this in Arizona, like just because we know what it's like here, and so we're pretty happy about it. I think what I'm most excited about coming out, honestly, is hitting the next order of like the polos we have coming. That is such a weird thing to think about, like what consumers buy. The most popular shirt was the least popular one we designed when we were like thinking about it. But as we look at analytical data and what people are clicking on and viewing, I feel like we've started to like understand our consumer a little bit better by their view data. So we'll keep kind of going down it. So I'm excited to kind of continue to learn about that. We just dropped 2 new hats last week. We got 2 more dropping this week that just came in. We have 3 new polos. And then I'm also really excited that we have so much product now. We don't have to spend any more capital on ordering stuff. And we can kind of sit back and like, again, really lean into the learning curve of golf.
The
golf
marketing
consumers.
side of it and the consumer side of it. Yeah.
We got a pop-up store coming up a couple weeks at a golf course. We're excited about that. So we were able to partner with a local golf course. We'll plug them, Lone Tree. They said that we can be out there and we do a pop-up store, and they've also committed to buying product for 27. Yeah, I'm putting you on notice, Keely. You said yes already. You said yes already on the phone. So hopefully she'll listen to this and remind her. But yeah, so we'll be able to be that. So that's again another thing I've been excited for is just continue to build a brand, build a catalog, build an understanding and really relationships. Man, we've been told no so many different ways that it's kind of like, okay, cool. He said no, that's fine. Someone else is going to say yes, right? Because that's just entrepreneurs do. Like I remember I started like my marketing company. I got laid off when the economy crashed in 2008. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like I sold new homes for a home builder. And I knew a guy that sold commercial real estate, and we were talking. I was like, well, how do you market it? And he's like, well, we don't really do it. And so I was like, okay. So I kind of leaned in and figured out a way to do it. And I was able to like start that, be the first one to like in the industry that did it. Within 5 years, there was 2 private equity firms that had opened up shops in San Francisco and New York. and was finally able to leverage and sell it in 2019. But, going through that challenge of like, am I going to make any money this month? So we don't have that type of risk, but the challenges of being told no when you want yeses is what I look forward to. Just 'cause this is hard. Like it is hard, but it's a fun hard that we look forward to every day. And so I'm really, really grateful I get to do this, and I actually don't have to do it by myself. Even though I think we probably drive each other nuts sometimes a little bit, but I think it's actually made us better friends, which is always hard too, right? You go into business with friends like you were about the relationships, but the group of guys we have, it was never about the business. It was about the relationships. And no matter what, we're going to focus on that because it's about the golf tournament. We always remind ourselves that it's about the golf tournament, not about the business. So that's really good, right? So we have, I think we have our priority set, like friendships matter more than money. And so hopefully that will take us a long way.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You guys want to give a quick plug to all your social medias before we close
This
out?
guy, I'm not on social media, man.
Yeah, we're at Sandcrane Golf. So we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and then on TikTok we're actually at Sandcrane .golf. That's what it was. Yeah, Sandcrane .golf. But yeah, we're trying that bit, all that marketing experience that I have.
But sandcranegolf.com is where you can buy stuff and see our stuff. Man, that's another whole beast. We could have talked an hour about web design and that is just so crazy to do, and like understanding hero shots and like web traffic and like flow charting clicks and just getting through that. And so good thing is I had done it before. Actually, I built my own site. So the best thing is having a partner that wants to learn. And so he's learned a lot, and it's, again, we have what our feedback has been a very functional and smooth website. So definitely your listeners and you guys check us out, sandcranegolf.com. We would love for, to come back in a year, like Josh said, and just say, hey, guess what, guys, you remember when? And so we really appreciate the opportunity to come out here and just tell our story. I mean, we've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes, and we really appreciate the platform, guys. Thank you. It's awesome what you guys are doing.
It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Cannon, I got to tell you, man. Hey, your 10 perfect plays story after that Basha game, that first 10 plays in the practice, that is almost a weekly talk in the coach's office.
Pterodactyl.
10 perfect plays. No. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, you don't even remember?
Okay, here we go. Okay, give it.
So we had a practice. We had just Cannon was the quarterback. We had just come off two game loss, and we had a bye week, and our brand new head coach was like, we got to find a way to win. We got to find a way to win. We got to find a way to win. We got to practice, and we got to beat each other up in practice, and we got to get after it. And we ended a practice. We couldn't leave until we had 10 perfect plays, and we would get to 7 or 8. And if somebody would fumble or somebody would jump off sides, and we'd start over. And we came in after that practice, and all the coaches were angry. We probably ran 80 plays. Everybody was angry. Everybody was like, this is the worst thing. And I'm just sitting there going, you realize, guys, we just ran 80 plays, and like 77 of them were perfect. Like we just ran 77 perfect plays. Like we might not have got 10 in a row, but then that next game, so that was on the Wednesday, the last real practice day. We played at Basha. They kicked off to us. We had a 10-play drive. You went down, booted out, scrambled in for the touchdown, came back with the ball, and you gave it to the head coach, and you go, there's your 10 perfect plays. And then everybody started laughing, and we went on to, we rolled them that game, but it was pretty good. It gets talked about all the time.
That's good. I don't even remember doing that. So good for me.
Good for you. Yeah, it was your watch me moment, and then, hey, take that. Look what I can do. Here's your 10 perfect plays, and you gave him the ball.
I do remember that game specifically because the offensive coordinator the year before was the Basha coach, and he was the guy that basically told me I'd never start for a varsity program. So that was a good feeling to beat them.
Yeah.
But yeah, really appreciate you guys coming on, sharing your story, sharing your brand. And yeah, I loved having you guys on and hearing about all the marketing, and I could probably talk to you about the social media platform because I'm navigating that for the first time, and I don't know what I'm doing. Man. I was like, Sean, I didn't even have this stuff downloaded. Um, but really, really enjoyed having you guys on. Love to have you on in the future and see where you guys go and how you grow and continue to produce stuff and make a cool brand.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We hope it's, we think it's cool. Now we just got to convince, more than 139 people so far. So.